Welcome back to the Crypto Channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is once again retesting this crucial area of resistance in the immediate short term, while the price is still trying to play out the bullish divergence. And we also have just 1 day to go until the next FOMC meeting, also known as a Fed meeting, which could heavily affect the market in the short term. So definitely pay attention to this. I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside my trading strategy, and of course, talking about Ethereum, which is now retesting a crucial area on the price chart, while the price of XRP is also still testing this important level of resistance in the shorter term. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just before starting off on the Bitcoin and crypto charts today, we need to take a look at the upcoming Fed meeting or FOMC meeting, which will be happening in pretty much exactly 1 day from now. And this interest rate decision from the Federal Reserve will be released at exactly 6 p.m. GMT. So 6 p.m. in the GMT time zone. You can use that to work out with your own time zone, but that's basically when we get the new interest rate decision, the new number. And of course, once again, it will be released on the 29th of October. So just 1 day from now. And currently, as of recording this video, before the interest rate decision, the current Fed funds rate on the high end is 4.25%, and expectations for this upcoming Fed meeting is 4%. In other words, the market is expecting for an interest rate cut of 0.25% or 25 basis points. And if we're actually taking a look at what the market is currently pricing in right now for this upcoming rate decision, currently the market is expecting around a 98% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut. So once again, reducing interest rates by 0.25% and about a 2% chance of keeping interest rates at the same level. And so in other words, the market has pretty much entirely priced in that 25 basis point rate cut, which means it's very likely we will end up seeing a rate cut with tomorrow's Fed meeting. And ultimately, that would be the neutral outcome because the market is already expecting a rate cut of 25 basis points and already pricing that into the market, which means if we end up getting that rate cut, nothing major should really happen. But if we see anything other than a 25 basis point rate cut, that is where we could potentially see a lot of volatility. And also, of course, depending on what's said in the Fed chair press conference, the Jerome Powell press conference, which usually happens about starts about half an hour after the Fed rate decision. But basically, if we see an outcome other than that 25 basis point rate cut, that is honestly where we'll see probably the most volatility if we see an outcome other than that 25 basis point rate cut. And all you really need to know about interest rates is the lower interest rates are, the more bullish that is for the economy. Basically, more people can borrow money and therefore more money is essentially printed if interest rates are lower. And on the other hand, if interest rates are higher, less money can really be printed because less people can borrow money or borrow essentially less money on those higher interest rates. And so that basically means if we see anything other than the 25 basis point rate cut, if it's on the further to the downside in terms of interest rates, so if we see a 50 basis point rate cut somehow instead of the 25 basis point rate cut, that would be extremely bullish for markets, would likely see a quick move towards the upside. On the other hand, if we see no change in interest rates with tomorrow's meeting, would likely see at least a short-term dump in the markets. And as always, as soon as this number gets released, I will be sharing it in real time within a matter of seconds from it being released over on my X or Twitter, link below this video if you want those real-time updates around events like this. But basically, those are expectations. That is what to expect over the next 1 day with that upcoming Fed meeting. And of course, once again, roughly half an hour after we see this number get released, after the rate decision, Jerome Powell also talks to the press, and depending on what he says in that press conference, of course, we could see some market volatility as well. So ultimately expect a bit of volatility in the shorter term around this time tomorrow. And if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin charts today on the weekly time frame, the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bull market. And on this weekly Bitcoin price chart, we're still obviously playing out this massive bearish divergence, which means overall we're still lacking bullish momentum on the larger time frames. Of course, we can see a short-term bullish move on smaller time frames, but currently, basically ever since around July to August this year onwards, the price of Bitcoin has basically just been consolidating relatively sideways on the larger timeframes, lacking bullish momentum. So that could likely continue at least over the next few weeks as a very likely scenario. And if we're taking a look at the daily Bitcoin price chart, obviously the price is continuing this previous breakout back above this important line on the price chart, which was sitting at around 110,500. So that would now likely act as new support again for the price. And obviously this is great to see breaking out back above this crucial line, because it means we're no longer repeating history, no longer expecting this much larger drawdown that we were potentially at risk of if we failed to get back above this line, which we ultimately ended up doing. And so right now we're still playing out a shorter term bullish divergence. So just on the smaller time frames like this 6-hour Bitcoin price chart, of course, we are currently within a short term bullish trend, forming high lows and high highs, basically a bullish relief from the bullish divergence, one of the most common outcomes. And right now it is still technically active. We've not confirmed any invalidation signal to actually invalidate this bullish divergence. So ultimately the price is still trying to play out this bullish relief. But of course, along the way, we run into points of resistance where the price struggles or possibly rejects from those points of resistance, which we perfectly did here from my exact resistance and perfectly did here from my exact resistance. But once again, even though we're struggling around these points of resistance, considering the bullish divergence is still currently active, expect the price to ultimately come up for retests of the resistance. And if we see enough retests, that essentially weakens the resistance. So ultimately, if we're pushing up against the resistance like what we saw right here, that's a strong indication that very soon we're going to break the resistance, which is what I said a couple of days ago, right before we broke the resistance. And so this time around, it's likely we'll continue struggling just for a little longer, considering this is only the second test now of this area of resistance. But soon enough, especially if we're still playing out the bullish divergence, soon enough, it's likely we'll ultimately break out towards the upside above this area of resistance, considering, at least for now, the shorter term situation is still currently more bullish than it is bearish, especially if we see a bullish Fed meeting tomorrow. And so when it comes to support and resistance to watch out for, once again, this area of resistance that I've been talking about since before this perfect rejection is still sitting in between around 115,500 to 116,000, acting as strong resistance, at least in the short term. And as for support, expect a lot of support based on this previous resistance flipping into new support at around 111.7k to 112k. And also expect a bit of short-term support at roughly 113.5k, which we just pretty much perfectly bounced from over the last few hours, over the last one day. And if we ultimately break out above 116,000 in that situation, we could likely see a bullish move all the way up towards roughly 120.5k to 121k. Close to 121k would honestly be the next major price target and next potential point of resistance to watch out for if we first confirm a breakout and hold it above 116,000. And as for my trading strategy right now, preparing for the upcoming Fed meeting, I'm still in the same trading strategy that I've been sharing every day for a week and a half now on the channel, because it's continuing to make easy profits without me really doing anything. It's just passive income coming in pretty much every single day here, while the price either plays out this bullish relief or bounces around sideways. It doesn't matter. This trading strategy continues to make easy profits, because essentially it's a grid bot in the long position. So in other words, if we see some sort of bullish relief eventually, whether that happens before or after a drawdown, ultimately if we see some sort of bounce, this trading strategy profits from that bounce. And also if we play out a bit of choppy sideways price action like this, for example, it also profits from that as well, because it has sell orders to the upside and buy orders to the downside. As you can see right here, it's fully automated. It's a trading bot. So the moment it drops, it buys Bitcoin at lower prices. The moment it bounces, it sells that Bitcoin at higher prices to profit no matter what the price really does. And so that's just an update on my trading strategy. Not a lot has changed over the last one day, because it's still obviously working very nicely here, still making easy profits. So of course, if you've been copying my trading strategy over the last 1 to 2 weeks, hopefully you should be making some very easy profits right now, as I am currently doing. And if you want to actually copy this trading strategy for yourself, you can do that with a single click of a button by using the second link below the video. In fact, the second link below this video will take you to this page right here, where you can simply just copy the bot, copy this trading bot, this trading strategy of mine with a single click of a button. You can see it's been running over the last 11 days now, extremely profitable, making easy money in the market right now. So once again, if you want to copy this, second link below the video. But in order to actually copy this trading strategy, because it's set up over on my Pinex account, you need to actually have a Pinex account registered using one of the links below the video in order to actually copy this trading strategy. Unfortunately, if you don't have a Pinex account that's actually signed up using one of those links, this copy button simply will not work, unfortunately. And so if you're actually using the first link below the video, if you use that first link, it'll take you to this page right here where you can also claim some massive bonuses just by making an account, completing KYC. You get a $50 bonus. On top of that, you can also get deposit bonuses by using the link below the video to make your Pinex account. If you deposit just 100 USDT, you get a 100 USDT bonus. If you deposit 10,000, you get a 1,000 USDT bonus into your Pinex account. Basically free money from the exchange just by simply making an account and making deposits using that link below the video. But once again, if you don't use that link, unfortunately, you can't claim any of these bonuses here. And also, if you don't use that link, unfortunately, you cannot copy this trading strategy. So once again, that's an update on my trading strategy, sharing with you completely for free here on YouTube how to make easy profits in this crypto market. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, right now, we still have a little bit of liquidity building above the price of Bitcoin at around 116.4K to 117,000. So currently, that is the next price target for Bitcoin. But remember, we do have resistance between the current price and that liquidity just above the price. So keep that in mind. We could still struggle a little bit more around this area of resistance, but ultimately, if we break out above 116K with confirmation and hold above that level, in that situation, it's very likely we're going to move towards 117K towards this liquidity. And honestly, as I said earlier, quite likely would move all the way up towards above 120,000, around 121,000 as the next major price target towards the upside if we first confirm a breakout above 116,000. And if you want to take those sort of trading opportunities, breakout trades like long positions, short positions, personally for those type of trades, I like to use 2bit as a no KYC exchange using longs or shorts. So I'll also make sure to leave a link to 2bit below the video, and it'll be the third link below the video to take you to this page right here where you can also claim massive bonuses using that link, making deposits and making trades up to 10,000 USDT in trial fund bonuses from the exchange and 8,000 USDT in withdrawable stablecoins that the exchange will literally deposit into your account just by simply depositing and trading crypto. If you're trading these larger amounts here, you can get up to those massive bonuses there. And on top of that, without making any deposits or any trades, you can get a free 30 USDT trial fund bonus and 1 month free VIP3 upgrade. So basically very cheap trading fees over on 2bit and essentially free money from the exchange, which you can use to trade over on 2bit simply just by making an account. It takes 30 seconds to do this using that third link below the video. And in case you're wondering, once again, 2bit is also a no KYC exchange. But with that being said, taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart on the daily time frame, and over the last one day, not a lot has changed on this Bitcoin dominance chart. We're still perfectly playing out this bullish divergence like I've been saying every day for a month now on the channel, ultimately expecting a slight bullish relief as a very likely scenario for the Bitcoin dominance. So obviously that's still perfectly playing out as predicted and will likely continue to play out for the foreseeable future for at least the coming days, possibly the coming weeks. And if we're taking a look at Ethereum on the 3-day time frame, right now the price of ETH is still holding this area of support as strong support, sitting in between roughly 3.9K to 4.1K. And if we're taking a look at the daily Ethereum price chart, right now we're still playing out this bullish divergence, which means ultimately expect either some choppy sideways price action like this or potentially a bit more of a bullish relief as the very likely outcomes, the most common outcomes from a bullish divergence. So ultimately expect that sort of price action moving forward. And if we're taking a look at the 8-hour Ethereum price chart, we just perfectly over the last 1 to 2 days, perfectly rejected from my exact resistance here, sitting in between around 42.50 to 42.80. And so far, as of recording this video, running into this area of previous resistance, now flipping it into new support, sitting in between around 40.60 to 4.1K. And so if the price continues to bounce here and actually hold this as new support, obviously that would officially confirm previous resistance flipping into new support, which is bullish price structure. In that situation, expect as a very likely scenario, if we continue to hold above this area, expect a move back up towards this resistance to retest this resistance at around 42.50 to 42.80. And it's likely that on the next 1 or 2 retests, soon enough, we could break out above that resistance, which would be very bullish in the short term. If we can actually do that, In that situation, expect a continued bullish move towards around 44.50 to 4.5k as the next strong resistance. And for now, we also technically have an active bullish breakout for this symmetrical triangle pattern, also known as a horizontal triangle pattern on the 4-hour Ethereum price chart, with a bullish price target in play at roughly 45.70, so just above $4,500, which from the point of the breakout to that price target was potentially a 15% move towards the upside as a trading opportunity, which I shared here on the channel before we broke out towards the upside, or from where we are right now as of recording this video to that price target, still around roughly a 10% move towards the upside, and that's with no leverage, so still potentially a major opportunity here. But as always, even if we have a technical price target for a price pattern, we cannot ignore points of resistance on the price chart where the price could potentially struggle at or reject from, like what we perfectly did here at my exact resistance. And so once again, soon enough, expect a retest closer towards this resistance, especially if Bitcoin continues retesting this resistance or ultimately breaks out above this area. In that situation, that will significantly increase the probability that Ethereum will see another short-term bullish move towards these highs to test these highs again. And once again, if we break out above around 42.80 with confirmation and hold above that area, in that situation, expect to move closer towards 4,500, so just before hitting this price target as the next major area of resistance, roughly around here. And if we're taking a look at the price of Solana on the 2-day time frame, right now, as of recording this video, the price of Solana has not yet technically confirmed, but is attempting a breakout back above this important area on the price chart, sitting in between around 190 to 200. So once again, we're attempting a breakout, but not yet fully confirmed. And if we confirm the breakout above 200 with a candle close above that level and actually hold above that level, in that situation, would likely see a move at least towards around $209 as the next short-term resistance. And above that, expect a lot of resistance at roughly $230. And as always, if we break out above an important area on the price chart, most likely that will become new support. So if we confirm the breakout above 200, we'll likely find support in between 190 to 200. And if we're taking a look at the slightly shorter term, technically, we still have this bullish divergence somewhat affecting the price as the RSI is still trending towards the upside, showing a sign of strength. So ultimately expect either a bullish relief like this or potentially a bit of choppy sideways price action here and there as really the most common outcome, the most likely outcome that I'm currently expecting for Solana in the short term, talking about the next few days, possibly the next few weeks, especially if Bitcoin plays out something similar. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the daily time frame, right now XRP is still currently testing this area of resistance, sitting in between around $2.60 to $2.70, and at least so far continuing to struggle from that exact area, which I've been talking about since before we hit that area. But if we confirm a breakout above $2.70, in that situation, it would likely see a move up towards around $2.88, and above that, the next significant resistance is at roughly $3.10. And even though the price in the shorter term is running into this area of resistance at around $2.60 to $2.70, we also still technically have an active bullish divergence, still confirmed, still playing out on the daily XRP price chart, which means continue to expect the price to attempt this bullish relief here moving forward. Of course, we're going to run into resistance along the way. It's not going to be a straight line, but basically the price will likely continue testing this resistance and potentially break out above the resistance soon enough, especially if Bitcoin also breaks out above that resistance and continues the bullish relief. Once again, a lot of the altcoin market follows what Bitcoin is doing. And if we're taking a look at the shorter term on the 8-hour XRP price chart, we're also technically still playing out this inverse head and shoulders pattern, a bullish price pattern with a bullish price target at roughly $2.88. So pretty much exactly this Fibonacci level, this previous Fibonacci level here at $2.88. So ultimately that's the next major price target if we first confirm a breakout above $2.70, which is the high end of this area of resistance that at least so far is causing the price to struggle in the short term. Once again, if we break out above that area right here, expect to move up towards around $2.88. And if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame, it's a similar situation for Chainlink as what I just said for XRP on the daily time frame. Technically still within this bearish price structure, not yet fully confirmed a trend reversal in the larger trend here, but in the shorter term, still playing out a bullish divergence. Of course, lower lows confirmed in the price in the candle closes and higher lows confirmed in the RSI. We're still technically playing this out, not yet confirmed any invalid validation signal, which means ultimately expect a continued bullish relief or at worst some choppy sideways price action as very likely outcomes, the most common outcomes from a bullish divergence, which means it's very likely that soon enough we'll retest this resistance right here in between $19 to $20, especially in between $19.50 to $20, acting as strong resistance for the price of Chainlink. And if the price of Chainlink can ultimately break out above $20 with confirmation, so a candle close above $20 and actually hold above that level, in that situation that'll be extremely bullish and actually the first sign of a trend reversal, changing the price structure. And in that situation, if we confirm a breakout above $20, expect to move at least up towards around $22 as the next major target. And so overall, those are the key levels to watch out for and the signals that are currently affecting the price in the shorter term for Chainlink and all of these other crypto assets. And of course, my exact Bitcoin trading strategy, sharing with you exactly how to make easy profits right now in the crypto market. And once again, if you want to take these trades for yourself, check out the links below the video to those exchanges if you want to claim the massive bonuses that are only available using those links. And if you want to actually know how you can take these sort of trades, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit during bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.